the Nation of Podcation daily podcast. I'm O'Shea. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. It is what it is. Podcast host and hip hop superstar Cameron talks about Jim Jones. Now, as we all know, the Dipset is dead. It's over with. Finito is no coming back. You got Cameron talking trash about Jim Jones with 50 Cent on the It Is What It Is podcast. They brought up the time when Jim Jones shaded Cameron showing up on stage with 50 Cent during the Cameron 50 Cent issue. 50 Cent was the master manipulator. He put these two against each other, and it looks like he did it again. Man, it's crazy how things come full circle, and it happened again. So this time they bring up that stuff. Jim Jones goes on another podcast, and he talks about he wasn't about to let Cameron mess up the bag. He wasn't about to let Cameron mess up this multi-million-dollar deal possibly for Dipset to go on tour with G Unit, but there was problems between the head honchos, 50 Cent and Cameron, and that never came to fruition. Now, Cameron went on his It Is What His podcast host and said this is the last time he's addressing it, but he started basically firing shots at Jim Jones, talking about Jim Jones ain't from Harlem, he's from the Bronx. He started saying that the only reason they started hanging out with Jim Jones is because he had a place for them to hang out in Harlem at his deceased grandmother's house, saying how Mace taught him how to rap, just basically firing shots at Jim Jones, saying that they wasn't really friends, and Jim came around once the rap started. Jim was security, Jim was a backup dancer, just firing shots back and forth at each other. I don't like when any of these groups do this. This is one of my favorite groups of all time. I didn't like when Bone Thugs did it. I didn't like when the Hot Boys are doing it currently with Turk and BG, and they still have problems they're working out. So I don't like to see it with Cameron and Jim Jones either. It's just not cool. I like to see the camaraderie. I like to see the groups together. That's how y'all became stars, as groups together. I don't want to see y'all apart for no reason, especially over this stupid war of words. Anyway, let's take a look at this clip from Killer Cam as he's firing more shots at Jim Jones, saying he's not from Harlem, he's from the Bronx. He didn't come around until they started making music videos and making raps and stuff like that. He didn't grow up with Jim Jones. Let's take a look at this clip from Cameron.
Realistically, and myself also, be happy all this is house money, especially for Jim. Jim is from the Bronx. He's not from Harlem. His grandmother's from Harlem. You know what I'm saying? He's from the Bronx. So therefore, we did an audit. He's from the Bronx, from Weeks Avenue in the Bronx. I'm not taking his Harlem card. His grandmother's from Harlem. He's from the Bronx. Okay. So a lot of people be like, oh, y'all grew up together because of musically. But realistically, I didn't really grow up with Jim. We got cool as right when the music was popping on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So oh, y'all was child. No, I grew up with Big L. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with Huddy Six. I grew up with Mace. You know what I'm saying? And these are the people that I used to rap with when I was rapping. You know what I'm saying? So Jim kind of came right when things was about to pop off. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
And he wasn't even a rapper. He was the manager. He was the road manager, right?
He's like the hype man.
All right, Nation, there you have it. See more shade being fired, saying he wasn't a rapper. He was the backup dancer. He was the road manager. He was security. It's all these. I mean, Jim Jones did wear a lot of different hats until he got his pen game tight to where he could start really rapping with the group. Shout out to Jim Jones. I know he worked hard to get where he was at. Like I said, I just don't like seeing these guys beef over nothing, bro. Y'all clearly was cool back when you were young. It doesn't have to be y'all grew up together when you were 5 or 6 years old. Y'all was youngsters together. We're talking teenagers, maybe 20s, but we're talking teenagers, 16, 17, 18. Man, that's growing up together if you ask me. I met some of my closest friends when we was 13, 14, 15 years old, and we are still friends to this day. So to try to say that, just because y'all wasn't in diapers together, that means that y'all didn't grow up together, that's crazy stuff. And it's also crazy to see y'all just go back and forth over words, over something that happened 15 years ago. Y'all have been past it, and now all of a sudden, because 50 Cent comes on the It Is What It Is podcast, I don't know, it's like they're trying to impress 50 or they're trying to cater to 50 for some reason, and you're doing that at the expense of Jim Jones. I'm just not a big fan of that stuff, y'all. Nation, what do you think about Cameron's comments on Jim Jones? What do you think about the Jim Jones-Cameron situation? Do you ever think that they will reconcile? Do you ever think we will get a Dipset reunion album? Do you ever think we will get that Harlem album where we're talking about getting all the artists that rep Harlem on one album? I don't think so at this point. With Diddy gone, the Dipset messed up. Harlem is messed up right now. Nation, let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button on your way out.
What up? This is DJ Michael Watts. And when I'm not in the switch house, I'm hanging out with my dog, DJ last name Song.
Girl,